Okay, you tell us the story. Sorry, forgot about that.
Oh.
Yeah, one day
I was living in this park, and I was going to the laundromat, and I had to pass through this path to get there.
Yeah.
And it was early in the morning. There were two small rattlesnakes on the path.
Yeah.
So I came back, and then I asked them telepathically, would you please leave so I can go down the path to do my laundry?
Yeah.
So then later on I came back, and they were gone.
Uh-huh.
And I just had an idea from that. That's your 1,000 acres that you have. That maybe we can make peace with the snakes.
Sure we can. No
Be
problem.
friends with them.
Sure, that is not really a problem.
Yeah.
The snake is never a problem. We lived in worse places before. When I first had my rented room, I told you after we had been camping in the river for so long, we didn't have room. And so we had one rented room. It was full of those black and white snakes. They were all over in my room. They came and sent to me and all that stuff. And sometimes my assistants were not careful, even injured them, and they came complaining to me. Yeah. So I told them, you don't use the brush to brush them out. Yeah, because that might hurt their eyes or something. And they think I'm so compassionate and thinking of these animals. But I just do know. I just do know. Because they think if they don't kill them, it's good enough. It's already compassionate. But you have to use, I said, just use a bag and put it nearby, and they crawl inside, and then I put them out in the bush together. But they kept coming in. They never bit us. Those are black and white, they are poisonous, aren't they? They have patches. Black and white. Huh? What kind of snake is that? Does anybody know? Hả? Có hổ mang nó kêu bằng cái gì hả? Cobra? They're black and white? Okay, cobra. They have the whole family there. Big, small. They all came singing, open mouths. They couldn't sing loud, but they sang loud inside. I couldn't hear. They opened their mouths next to my sitting cushion. I talked, I sang and dance. Especially those babies, they love to hang around me. So I had to tell them, be extra careful where you're walking, because you could walk on them. It just happened that in our rented place at the time, they used this kind of marble, also black and white, look very much like them. So they both blended in perfectly. I guess that's why they love to come there. They feel safe, like, wow, such a big cobra, as big as the whole house. So they ran all over there, singing and laughing. It was so funny. And sometimes one of the nuns was not careful, She slept on top of them, but they didn't bite her either. Poor thing, it didn't dare. So next time I said, if you're not careful, I make you stand forever, not lying down and not sitting. She's a little fat. And newly joined, as a nun. She sleep right on top of the snake. Poor snake. Didn't dare to break any precept. The snake didn't break precept, but the nun did. Well, she didn't do it intentionally, but still, the snake also died unintentionally. But he died nevertheless. It was a poor thing, so we had to apologize and all that. You have to walk carefully, yeah. So that is not a problem, really. We have people who can talk to them also. We can also tell them to move out within a week. But then they move to the neighbors. Yeah, but never mind. It's not a problem. It is not a problem. Besides, if your karma is not for snake bite, even if you want them to bite you, they won't bite you, yeah. But you have to go there and start from the beginning again, and I don't know if we can have permission for all these things. But it's a good area, though. But why do you like that place? Why do you like it so much over there?
Oh, what, the 1,000 acres?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel the presence of it. I see the property, I feel it. It seems like it's a nice, interesting place.
It is. Yeah. It is a little far from here. It's nearer to Tampa, like half an hour to Tampa. and half an hour to... Actually, there's a very near shop though. Like in 10 minutes, you're in the shop. Publix, for example, Publix. It's not so bad, but it's far away from everybody. From an aeroplane viewpoint, you don't see any neighbors. The nearest neighbor is about a mile. Yeah, but otherwise you don't see them. Mostly because they're all farmland, big farmland. Every place is like 1,000 acres, 2,000 acres, 3,000 acres, 500 acres. They're just 1,000 after another. It's just, I think we don't have water there. We have to dig wells. But they have water in the land. I saw they dig some holes for cows to drink. They're full of water. And they have enough trees for us to pitch tents. And they have enough water if you dig. But I'm so tired of getting permits and starting all over again. I've been starting all my life. I started in Mali, I started in Cambodia, I started here, I started in Costa Rica, I started in San Jose, the first center, whatever you name it. Yeah, I just bought it blindly, There were 20 acres of it, and it was $500,000. And at that time, I didn't even have much money. I don't know how I managed to do it. Always disciples come first. And we didn't even have enough clothes to wear. We had to share between the nuns and monks. But by a $500,000, center, which has only one house, a mobile home even, I must have been naive. And then there was a horse shed, and I had to work day and night with some brother disciples to turn it into a temporary meditation hall. We really did do nailing things, physical work. Not just like now, I'm just sitting, do that, do this, Oh, actually, at that time, I was more getting down, get dirty, and do things. Because at that time, I didn't have too many people. So I had to be everything, the brain and the action, yeah. Now I'm just a thinking tank. And I don't even have much to think anymore. I'm too tired to even think. I'm just thinking of the work. I'm tired already, It's okay for you guys if you have not done much, but I've done this from one center to another, Even if I was not always there physically, I had to think and tell them what to do, and then detail and all that, and take care. Mm.
I have a story.
Animal story?
Yeah.
You can talk to them?
But yes, I had a cow as a friend.
Yeah, give it to her. Give it. You want to come here, or you want the microphone to go there? Oh, that's it? That's just one time you move the snakes, that's it?
I was going to ask you something, too. Sometimes it's like I'm in samadhi, and I talk to the animals, and I get a big transmission of knowledge from them through the universal mind.
That's right, that's correct. That's good, yes. They do that, because they're higher beings. It's just like us. Yeah, they can give you good knowledge. Yeah, you have that too? Oh, good. Yeah.
I used to be in the convent in the 60s and 70s, early 70s. And I used to be afraid of cows, because whenever we had a 5-acre land and there was fence, and we used to help, the cows would help eat the grass and stuff like that. But I'd always climb over the fence, and they'd chase me, and I was so scared. And then one day I just decided I wasn't going to be scared anymore. And I had this one cow as a friend, and she came to me one morning and told me that she was, a family had raised her, and they were going to use her for meat. So she came to me one morning and told me that she was going to be slaughtered.
Oh.
And so I don't know
Can
how
you
I
believe
did
that?
it.
They even know in advance, and you
Yeah.
think they don't know anything. Eating all that meat. Poor thing. Yeah.
I don't know what I gave her to eat, because we used to make the little wafers for the communion,
Yes.
and we'd feed that to the cows. But for some reason, I gave her something that when she did die and they did butcher her, her whole body was contaminated with something that
They didn't eat
the
her.
family couldn't eat it because she didn't want to be eaten.
Oh.
So they wound up bringing everything back and then burying
Bury
her
her
remains in the
oh,
ground. So
oh.
she wasn't not one part of her was eaten.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't want to be eaten by a human being. That's all. I can't explain it. It was just...
Yeah. None of them are really willing to be eaten that way. Mm-hmm. They don't like to be just forcefully butchered and then eaten like that. You ask any of them, they say no. It's not the natural way. It's not a natural way that they are born to be doing. You eat just for the glutinous thing, this is very bad. Even plants, they also complain if you just eat for the sake of it. So respect all life. When you eat, you pray and you offer to God, and that is the right thing to do. Yeah? And thank them. Thank God for making them, and thank them for sacrificing their life for you. But plants are the least harmed, yeah? Because they're not moving too much, and mostly they're not as conscious. They're still evolving. But still, even if you eat them with disrespect, they grumble. So this is a good idea that you come and talk like this, and people would be more aware of animals' feelings, and they're great beings. Yeah. You can learn a lot from them. Sometimes you ask the Maltese and they would tell you that love is the best thing. The Maltese is very loving. They call them million kisses dogs. They always love you, kiss you all over all the time. They used to be very, very beloved in Europe. They came from Malta Island, next to Spain. That's what they call Maltese. And they would tell you that love is the best thing. And fear is the next best thing. When you're fearful, you try to learn things and you have more knowledge. But when you have love, you just know. You don't need to learn. If you have love, you just know. And everything would just be easy. Yeah. So he says, if you have fear, you learn. If you have love, you know. It's very good though. So I feel sorry for a lot of people who are just munching, eating, and harassing and mutilating these great beings. In the Bible, God says, I made the animals just to help you, be your friends. They're really helping us. The cows help to fertilize the land. So it's incredible how people can do that. I'm really sometimes very startled at our ignorance about the nature of creation. Oh, man.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, is a world-renowned spiritual teacher, humanitarian, and artist. To learn more about her compassionate life and teachings, please visit suprememastertv.com/master.
Vegan. Imagine a world in which the dictionary doesn't have to include the words bully, oppressor, or brutal mentality.